Hello. Hi, guys. Welcome back. I hope that you guys enjoyed our last two episodes. We had a Halloween special and our pilot, and now we're officially here on episode number one. So, this is our very first actual episode getting kicked off the ground, and I hope that you really enjoyed getting to know us a little bit more on the pilot, who we are, why we're here, what Zen and Juice is, and then the Halloween episode get to see our personality shine a little bit more and talk about everything spooky and supernatural. This
It was
episode,
the
though,
spookiest. It was so spooky.
we're talking all about love and everything about love, romance. I know a lot of you all out there have heard, if you're in the spiritual community, you've heard soulmates, karmic, twin flames. What is that? Um, Notes to self. I know love can be complicated. I know there are things that we wish we knew about love. There are things that if we could maybe do things differently, we would. But on top of that, we know that you all go through your own love journey. And we're also interested to kind of understand, hey, what's that like for you? So we are now introducing our very first segment of this is Zen and Juice Investigates. And we went in and we started exploring the online dating community for you all to know what you all go through. If we've ever recommended online dating to you, we kind of want to know what that's like. And so we dug in. You're going to hear a little bit about our experience, and we're going to get into all the meat and the juice of everything love. I know most of you guys probably go to a reader for love readings, or you want to understand love a little bit more. So now you get to kind of get a little bit of our spiritual journey with it, as well as a little of our expertise. So
Explitoire.
stay tuned and you will get to explore everything here.
Okay, so segment one, obviously, as per usual. What are you sipping on, Juice? What do you got? What's in your cup, baby?
Well, first, I just want to say I'm really excited to be here for episode one. I know it's kind of been a journey to get here, but I'm really excited about what we have in store. I really am excited about our topics and getting into not just what we're talking to today, but I know we have some really, really cool episodes coming up. And so I just wanted to say thank you to all of you guys that are out there listening. But I enjoy making these regardless. Like, I love you, Meg, and I think it's fun chatting with you and coming up with everything. So, most definitely, um, I wanted to say that first. But what I'm sipping on is this big ass drink. Um, it's actually water and lemon. I definitely need to hydrate.
Oh,
So, do I wish it was a little alcoholic beverage? Yes, but something that I think would be fun. I know I'm kind of like springing it on you, Meg, but we like put a recipe up. Like we try like a different mixology recipe, or even if
I
it's
would
like a
love that.
mocktail, if it's a cocktail, mocktail, whatever. And then we kind of like throw that up there. So if
Love
people wanted
it.
to drink what we're drinking, they could too. But
We
yeah,
should do
that's
that.
what I'm sipping
I
on.
make a
Um,
I make a mean Moscow Mule. So I would
ooh,
love to do
okay.
that. I would love, love, love to do that. That would be fun.
But yeah, what about
Yes.
you?
Speaking on, kind of Moscow Mule. I have with me the one, the only
Shut up. That's back in stock. That's like my favorite.
bright winter spiced cranberry. Zero sugar, of course. But I have that with me. And I have another one. And then I've got this bottle of apple cider as well that you may have seen in our
Ooh.
last episode. Apple
Yeah.
cider. Very
Girl,
yummy.
now I'm gonna like put that in my cart. I'm gonna put that in my Target pickup order. I'm like, I'm gonna get me
You
some.
should, honestly.
Oh
It's
yeah, it's my favorite. Girl, I drink. Oh, it's my favorite. I will tell you the Shirley Temple of 7 Up they had was shit.
oh no good. Caca no bueno.
Mm-mm.
We not like it.
Didn't like it. Didn't enjoy. It wasn't horrible. It's just not as good as that, and it's just didn't do it for me.
But I also feel like, and mark me if I'm wrong, maybe I'm thinking of, oh, I'm thinking of 7 Up. 7 Up had 7 Up cranberry, or is it Sprite? Sprite cranberry. But one of the two like changed it. I don't know if it was Sprite, but somebody changed the recipe in it and there was a big outrage one year. Um, and I don't know
I
if it
don't
ever
know.
went back to the original recipe. I don't know. But I do know that that was like
I don't know, but I
thing.
will tell you the Shirley Temple, get this Sprite cranberry. It's better than the Shirley Temple. But 7 Up, if you want to try something new and you want to send it to us for us to try, we're totally into it. We're
Please.
beverage savants.
We are
Beverage
definitely
savants.
beverage savants. Speaking of winter spiced cranberry, let's talk a little bit about romance. What do you, when you think romance, what is what is romance to you?
Okay. So first I want to put a disclaimer here. I'm probably the worst person to talk about romance with. Um, Genuinely, because ever since I was little, I thought it was a bunch of crap. I didn't like romantic things. I didn't want to talk about love, romance, marriage, boyfriends. I was not into it. Still really not. And even like growing up, I would not watch like I don't like chick flicks. I don't like getting into all of that because I'm like I swear to you, even as like a 9-year old, I would literally tell my parents, this gives you an unrealistic expectation of love. Bringing you flowers, taking you on trips, all of this stuff. It's like everything feels mushy and gushy, but like we know life isn't like that. At fucking 9. Oh, so I just want to preface that and say this. So when I think of romance, to me,
Oh Lord.
it's not really like you wrote me poems and poetry. It's about somebody that's going to go through all of the BS with you. It's somebody that's going to go through life. It's somebody who's going to be there when you're not at your best and you've like acted out and you're kind of not keeping things together. This person can still look at you and can still be there with you and is still going through the trenches with you. I feel like it's somebody who's not trying to fight with me and they're not trying to do their own fight necessarily, but they're wanting to fight with me and maybe sometimes for me, but with me. And it's, and when I keep like going in my head and I keep like reminiscing, okay, about like, what is it? It's somebody that I want that through the good, the bad, the ugly, they are there and they are consistent. Consistency is so romantic to me. Like being emotionally available is so romantic to me. And it's that someone that can like, how do I want to say this? Somebody that can like be there where I have my faults. So I may not be really great with details, but they are. I may not be really great at like the details of measuring out like wood, or I may I may not be really good at like a number of things, but I want them to be there. And I also
Right.
think it's so underrated, but I think kindness and compassion and care for other people is the sexiest thing there ever was. Um,
So sexy.
I do. And to wrap all of that up, it's I feel like being able to hang with somebody in the good and the bad and still have that love for that person and not become into a place of like complacency is the ultimate romance to me. So if somebody was going to write a romance novel for me, it would be They're consistent. They express what they feel. They'll stand up for me or like against me if I'm doing something that's not right. Like they'll put me in my place. But they're also there through the thick and the thin, and they will not waver. And I will never, ever, 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 ever have to question if I'm loved. And that would be my romance novel.
That's pretty
What
goddamn
about you?
that's, I mean, shit, I'm not sure how to, I'm
What
not
about
sure
you?
that meets a lot of that meets a lot of my like requirements because I require you to be attentive. I'm just gonna go through mine in a list. Like I'm a Virgo because
Yeah.
I'm a Virgo
Yeah.
to be attentive. I require that my partner is going to be a partner that knows how to keep romance alive. I'm talking passion. I never want to be in a dead end relationship where we haven't fucked in fucking 8 years and we're just cool with that. And then maybe we go casually on each other on the side. Yeah, that's not for me. I need your undivided loyalty, your undivided attention. I need your soul. I do. Um,
Wait, can we like, I know I'm interrupting you for a second. Yes, I feel like this is Virgo with the list, but this is Scorpio Venus to the maximum T. I need your undying loyalty and prove to me. No,
You
it's
better,
nothing wrong with it,
if
but
you
I'm
want to
saying
be
like
with me,
you're
you better sign it in blood and write it and tattoo it on your back.
no, but I'm just saying it's like this is very Scorpio Venus. But please continue. Please, please, please
It
continue.
is. I can't help it. And it is like I get very possessive over my partners. I've been very controlling in the past, and it was because I never felt safe. So if I don't feel safe, you are going to see a crazy side come out of me. So let's not awaken the beast that slumbers and just make me feel safe and show up for me in the ways that I need. And it would be nice if you brought me like random fucking flowers and if you wanted to go do adventures with me and try new foods and take quizzes and read books with me and play nerdy video games and board games because that's what I fucking want. Let's go fucking take photographs of birds.
No, I love
I want
that.
somebody that's adventurous. I want someone that's uniquely minded because the world is so mundane and I see so much romance that could be lived in it with the proper person. And to me, romance is often in the little things. It's not always elaborate and big or going on vacations,
Hmm.
taking me to Paris. No. Okay. Go grab a blanket. Let's go watch the stars.
No,
Maybe we'll
yeah.
get a fucking $5 pizza from Little Caesars while we're at it. If you really want to be bad and bougie
Oh,
and
I
get
do
hungry.
like Little Caesars. I really do like Little Caesars.
I do too, but I'm not going to deny it. Sometimes their sauce makes my face turn red and it makes it really itchy.
Oh, okay. So maybe I'm a little allergic.
There might be something I'm a little allergic to, but it doesn't stop me. I keep going and I'll sit there and eat the pizza and just itch my face like a flea dog.
No,
Like,
like you said something that resonates with me too, and I kind of feel like it's um under well, I want to say underestimated, I think that's the right word, is security. Being secure and safe with somebody where you can be your full self or you feel like you have a place to land is incredibly important. Um, and I do agree with the passion too. Like, I mean, I guess in my head it's like a given, but to be honest, being in like I've been in a relationship where it was like really hot and heavy in the beginning and then it like really died out and it really bothered me. Like exponentially really bothered me. So,
I've been through
no,
that
it's really good.
too. I've been through relationships where I've been through that too. I've been through relationships where
Hmm.
it's good for like 4 years, maybe five. And maybe it was more of like something that wasn't that deep to begin with. And we just didn't really know because we were young. But
Hmm.
once that romance died out and it was a completely platonic connection and there was literally no sex involved, what do you, okay, you're in your 20s
Yeah.
and this is what you're dealing with 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 if I'm lucky, 90 if I'm lucky, 100, maybe plus. Is that what I
Hmm.
want to deal with? Not for somebody who's looking for monogamy for life. I'm like a cardinal
Yeah.
bird. I am like a cardinal bird. If you don't know what the cardinal bird is, they mate for life. Life.
No, and I agree with that. And again, it's somebody who's a life partner. And I think people underestimate, from my experience from listening to people, it's they when they're looking for a partner, and I know it's kind of like venturing a little bit from the romance topic, but and they're looking for a partner, and I think we're going to talk about this a little bit later too, but it's I want somebody that has money. I want somebody that can give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me, give me. And I'm like, but what are you giving in return? Because you do know your partner also has like romance, and your partner also wants to feel loved, and they also want to feel swooned, and they also want to feel whatever it is. And so when I think about it too, it's like, yes, like I want the passion and the robust, or like, yeah, do I want somebody to write a song for me? Who doesn't? But it's like, to me, that doesn't have to happen when you are consistently you, and we're exploring life, and like we're having conversations where it's like, hey, like maybe the libido died down, kind of like why? Like people go through ruts in life and their own things going on, or it's like, hey, you know, get in the car. We're just going to go drive for an hour and it wasn't planned today. And let's just do it and spend time together. Because I know life gets busy and it's hard to spend time with people. At least for me, it's hard. Like the way that I show love is spending time with you. If I give you my time, that is my love, because that's the one thing I'm not going to get back. And I already have a ticker on me. So if I'm going to give you my time, that is my love.
Yes.
And I don't like people that waste it, and it's something that irritates
Yes.
me. So if I feel like you're wasting my time, you're out.
Preach.
And
Preach, baby. Preach, preach, preach.
so romance to me is like somebody who wants to spend time, who's doing that quality of time, and I'm a priority. I don't have to be a priority all of the time, but in those moments I do. I need to feel like I'm the only person in your purview in
So
those moments.
I kind of want to piggyback off of like what you're saying because it's kind of sparking something to my mind right now. Um, as you're saying this and you're kind of like idealizing love, what movies or like, I don't know, like what movies or like music do you feel like kind of symbolizes what you're looking for or like what you love? What's your rom
Oh,
com? What's your chick flick, baby?
okay. So one, Finding Neverland is like one of my favorite movies. And granted, it's not like a love story, but the moment, and I'm gonna spoil this, so sorry guys. It's basically the person who wrote Peter Pan. But there's a moment where she's dying of influenza or cancer or something. And she always wanted to see Neverland the play, and he brought Neverland to her and had all of the actors like come and brought this set and everything so she could experience it. And that scene there, and then it like goes into like her passing, that to me was like, you love somebody who really, really wanted to experience what Neverland is like, and you brought that to them. That makes me, I'm not like a crier in movies, but that like floors me. Or Down in Real Life. Is it, I mean, I guess it can kind of be that way. It's like one of Steve Carell's more serious movies, but that movie as well, there's a part where he's playing My Love Opens the Door, and he brings it into like Acapulco and is singing his heart out to this girl where he hadn't found love after his wife passing. And it was just those small moments, or like 50 First Dates, how again, I think there's like a trend of like acts of service for love, but 50 First
Oh,
Dates where it's like every day he knows that she like doesn't remember. And
wouldn't it be
it's
nice if we could wake up?
yeah, and I just for me, those are my movies. And then like really quick, like when I think about love songs, because music is really, really important to me, um, How Deep Is Your Love by like the Bee Gees. Or there's the song like the one thing that I feel like country does really well is telling a story. And I think a lot of my things have to do with death, which is like actually really sad because there's this song like what is it? Please Don't Take the Girl by Tim McGraw. And the way that he tells the story about how it was like a snotty-nosed kid that didn't want the girl to go fishing with him to like begging God to take his place instead of hers. It was just like that whole song is this whole movement of just like profound love to me. Or the last one I want to say, and again, we'll add this to our playlist. So if you guys like want to hear our love songs, like we'll
Yes,
add
yes,
those.
yes. We'll add this.
Um, but this isn't necessarily a love song, but the thing that has so much heartfelt to me is I don't know if you've ever heard Silver Springs by Fleetwood Mac. And
Yes, yes.
it's the song where like Stevie wrote it for Lindsay after Lindsay had like cheated on him or cheated on her, and she was so in love. She's like, you're never gonna like forget me, right? And it was just this like ode
Oh,
to being like, I hope my like voice like haunts you. Like I loved
oh,
you
I
so much
fucking
and
haunt
you
you.
what is it? It was like oh shit. Now my mind just like ugh, blanked. But anyway, there's a point in the song where she was like, "Oh, I loved you, but you wouldn't let me. I could have loved you, but you wouldn't let me." And that whole thing, it just like kind of like aches. It's that like profound movement. And there's even interviews where even as of like what 2006 where she was like I'm always going to have love for him. I still love him. He's this whole piece and it's unfortunate the series of events that happened. And like I'm really close to his wife now and I respect the relationship, but it's sad that like I couldn't be the person that he let me love
Ah,
him. It was just like it just like rips the soul. But I would love to hear yours because mine are
fuck.
actually really dark now that I think about it. But
Wow,
I would love
that
to hear
is dark, but
yours.
that's real. It's deep, is what it is. It's real, it's deep, it's raw, it's everything that it should be. I also have to agree with you with 51st Dates. I fucking love 51st Dates.
Mm, mhm.
This one is probably going to be a little bit more stereotypical. The Notebook. I love The Notebook. I love The Notebook. I love The Notebook.
Huh.
I love
Oh,
the idea of a man actually fighting for fucking love. I love it. I love it. I feel like you don't see it these days. It's a lost art. The man just says, yeah, I'm cool with being a piece of shit and like, you know, being on the streets and doing street rat shit and shitting in the
see,
streets like a street
okay,
rat.
okay, because you've said this and opened the gate, I have to ask you this question then.
Okay.
I personally feel like she should have been with James Marsden's character. I feel like he loved
Yeah,
her and he
duh.
had the money and the other guy was a little shit. Do you feel the same since you love the movie or do you agree with her choice?
Listen, I
Because
do absolutely 100% love the movie, but in every way, shape, or form, this is the way that I see it. This is what I feel. And we're going to talk about this a little bit later on. If I was to look at the notebook and I was to look at that situation, Noah is definitely some type of twin flame karmic situation. versus the other, which is clearly a soulmate connection that she has the opportunity to clearly be happy with, is genuinely how I look at it. Because if his character is portrayed the way that we see him to be, he never leaves her. He provides for her. He treats her right. He treats his family right. So, what type of woman is giving that up after a fucking guy like that you fight with like cats and dogs? I'm sorry, but I'm taking the man that I'm not trauma bound to. I
Mhm.
love you, Rachel, but like,
Okay, but devil's advocate will say, and it will say that, well, he turned it around and he was there with her till the end and stuck it out. And it's like how much pain. Not saying I agree with it or don't. Well, obviously, you guys know who they've chosen, but for the sake of it, being on the other end is saying, well, they stuck it out, they worked on it, and look at where they were at the end of the movie.
the whole thing that I hate is that they had other people involved in the film. It'd be one thing if they were like single and there wasn't other people involved, but both parties had third parties. And that's really
Hmm.
fucked up. That's really fucked up. So, in my eyes, you know what? I guess you're right. They deserve each other. That's what it is. If you want to look at the situation with Noah and Allie, those two motherfuckers deserve each other. As much as I love the movie and I love everything about it, they deserve each other for putting other people in third party situations. How can Noah openly sit there and like look at the woman he's laying in bed with and she's like, "You're still in love with her, aren't you?" And he's like, "Shut the fuck up, you dumb bitch. We can't talk about Allie. But yeah, I'm still in love with her. No big deal."
Oh
What?
my God.
I just can't with that movie. I can't because everybody knows. What was the other guy's name? The guy who didn't play Noah?
No, no.
Hey Siri, what was the actor's name?
Oh,
Uh,
James Marston.
I found this on the web for what was the actor's name. Check it out.
You said James what?
Marston.
Morstan. I know James. I didn't know his last name. I'm bad with names. Hey Siri,
Hmm.
who did James Morstan play in The Notebook?
James Morrison is the American actor who plays Gordon Murphy in the series.
Oh,
Gordon.
Gordon.
Random.
Well,
So,
I mean, I would rename him. I don't like the name Gordon. I'd rename him.
nah, that's not what he looks like now. Maybe she did make the right choice. Do me a good favor. This can't be accurate. Please, J- James Morrison. That's correct. This is the man.
Marston. Marston. Did you pull up the guy who did, what is it? Brandy or Fine Girl? Girl, he's a singer. Didn't he do Brandy or Fine Girl, or was it Brown Eyed Girl or something? Maybe it's Brown Eyed Girl.
I have no idea. Morrison is born in Bountiful, Utah. He's a theater actor. Um, he's done movies, but just not these movies. Hey Siri,
Hmm.
give me a list of actors in The Notebook.
Yes. Okay. James Morrison. Okay. No, Van Morrison.
Gosling, Gina Rollins, and others.
James Marsden. That's who it is. Marsden. Marsden.
Okay. Well, I was also wrong because I thought James Morrison, the one that you looked up, did Brown Eyed Girls. But no, that's Van Morrison is the one who's saying Brown Eyed Girls. James Morrison, who you pulled up. No, actually, I don't think you pulled him up. This is another dude entirely. James Morrison is an American singer-songwriter, and then there's the old dude you looked up. So if you're listening to this, guys, I'm really sorry. We're talking about the guy from the Notebook who also played Cyclops, who's really hot. We're not talking about this old man Van Morrison or James Morrison or James Morden. Like,
Oh, Lord. It's all getting mixed up in my mind. But yeah, his name was Lon. Like, how are you gonna pick Noah over Lon? I don't know. Absolutely crazy.
wait, so his name wasn't even Gordon? His name was Lon?
Yeah, his name was his name was Lon. His name was Lon. His name literally was Lon. It
Okay.
says Lon in the notebook. Lon Hammond. Lon Hammond.
His name was, I couldn't even do, oh, Lon. Oh, I'd have to rename him
My
too.
fucking
Oh,
God. Look at him right now.
he's gorgeous. He's from Oklahoma.
What a man, what a man, what a man, what a man if I'm man.
Okay, so you liked The Notebook. What
I
else?
did. To get back on topic here. I was a huge, huge, huge fan of The Notebook. But some of his songs that I really, really liked. I do like You're Just Too Good to Be True. Can't take my eyes off of you. I love it. 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 I also love Hopelessly Devoted by Olivia Newton-John. And Can I Call You
Rest in peace,
Rose?
Olivia.
Rest in peace to the goddess. And then my last song that I really, really like is Can I Call You Rose? And that's
Oh,
by
I know what you're
the
talking
Secret
about.
Sauce. Can I Call You Rose?
Oh, you Rose. Yes.
Such a good song.
Oh,
It's like, I feel like
those
that's
are
such a
like
good
some
song to
very
like
cute.
slow dance to.
Well, yeah, and it brings me back to like that crooner Sinatra era, that like soulful jazz, like that you listen to it in the kitchen while you're like cooking or baking, but it's also like those sweet, like you're eating dinner in this restaurant and they pull you up to the dance floor and it's this like sweep you off your feet moment.
Yes. 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 When I think of love,
Mm,
what I want Lon Hammond. What the fuck else am I going to say? I want a Lon Hammond because I specifically remember in the movie where he takes Allie out on the dance floor, sweeps her off on her feet in the middle of that fucking military event, whatever it was. Oh, why? I just want
see, and
someone
that's
like
why,
that.
like, I mean, I get it, but you know,
I
I
do
have a
not want a
husband.
man that's reserved. I do not want a man that's like not going to not take charge because, like you said,
Same girl,
you gotta, you gotta,
same.
you gotta be a leader like I'm a leader.
Same,
You
same.
gotta lead me. I don't want to lead you.
So you made a really good point, and actually, I really didn't think about the Notebook being like a really good depiction of um what we in the quote unquote spiritual community, when we're talking about love or people are looking for their life partner, forever partner, who am I going to be with the rest of my life? Um, there's this mode kind of going on where it's different sort of like loves in your life, right? So you all may have heard something called karmic, your soulmate, your twin flame, and then there's a fourth version called divine ray, which that's a whole other topic for a different day. But the most common three are karmic, soulmate, and twin flame. And one, some people may say it's fancy. Like I feel probably, and maybe it's just because I'm not, I wouldn't say that I'm new, but I don't really like fall into like the mainstream spirituality often. But I would say probably the past couple of years, or at least this past 2 years, twin flame is like boom, 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 boom. I feel like it's everywhere.
Everywhere it's
And
fucking played, bro. And
I'm
maybe it's
not
because there
sure.
was a particular amount of twin flames that came down to earth at this particular amount of time. Who the fuck knows? But it feels like a fucking plague.
Well, so I think like one thing, because I'm gonna be really, really blunt. We're gonna talk about this stuff right now. So if you guys are interested or don't understand what the hell this is, you're with me. I still struggle to fully grasp these concepts, or to I'm not going to say that I struggle to grasp them. I'm going to say I struggle to allow myself to fall into 100% belief of these. This is my own personal belief. This is my own personal standpoint. If you all believe differently, that's totally okay. But I struggle with this, like, this is your twin flame and all of these things coming together. I personally don't read on this, and I will not tell you if someone's your soulmate or your twin flame. I will say they have these qualities, but I am not an expert. But I do know Meg is more um Zen, is more qualified to kind of talk through these with you and explain what they are. And in turn, she's like re-explaining them to me. So I thought we could
All
start off
right.
talking about what is a karmic partner.
Oof. Okay. So first and foremost, thank you. I appreciate you for calling me educated. And this is just my own general conclusion on what I have come to, um, based on my own interpretation, based on how I read, based on my intuition.
Mm-hmm.
When we are dealing with a karmic relationship, oftentimes you will see it get confused with twin flame connections. And I do think that there are karma aspects involved with twin flame, which we're going to get into in a little bit. But when you're dealing with a karmic situation, it is like a repeating pattern that you're dealing with. And a karmic situation, a karmic relationship can be platonic, it can be romantic, it can be with yourself, with your family. There are all of these different aspects that relate when we're talking a karmic relationship. The premise is depict the pattern of what is wrong and course correct. And does that involve you removing yourself and your energy from the situation? And what I mean like that is, since we're talking about love, and this is a love episode, we're going to kind of steer this towards love. Okay. I'm single. I'm putting myself out there. I feel like I should. It's the best thing that I do. I'm trying to look for my person. And I feel like every time I put up myself out there, whether it's somebody that is in person, whether it's somebody that I meet online, it's never working out. And I'm not understanding why the situation's not working out. So, what is the pattern there? Why are these situations not working out? Those are the things that we need to start analyzing. Okay. Are you missing red flags? Are you going after people that are emotionally unavailable, people that don't have emotional intelligence, that are not ready for commitment and stability? Do either of you have trauma and insecurities that could stem back as far as childhood that just leads to this sort of like repression and lack of
Mm-hmm.
communication? So there are all of these different aspects that we have to look at when it comes to a karmic relationship. But the point is, in short term, and to not use all of these mumbly jumbly words, it's what is the lesson? That is what you have to find. That is what you have to break.
So if
And
I were
okay, go ahead. No, go ahead.
so if I were in a relationship, and let's say it's like this, where we things will be really great, but we keep fighting about the same things. We break up, we kind of get back together. It's the same issue. It's the same, like, someone's not given taking. There's normally, like, we can be really passionate, but we argue really passionately. I feel like there's a lot of drama. I feel like sometimes we just like can't split from the relationship. And it's like we have more downfalls than we do ups. Would you consider that a karmic relationship?
100%, I would consider that a karmic relationship. 100%. And I think that it kind of steers me a little bit to twin flames because you experience those same exact things with a twin flame, which is why I mean they are so similar. Um, but the point and the premise is, and a good way to be able to tell the difference. If this is a person, like let's say that we're like, okay, I'm going to use this example. Let's say that you make up, break up, make up, break up, make up, break up. Are we growing? Are we changing? Have you helped this person grow? Have they helped you grow? Or is it a toxic negative cycle that you two are continuously dragging each other down and there's no escape? Because when we're in that energy and that other person is refusing to grow or acknowledge or make change, and you have to be patient, okay? If you can't just, if this is something that you're actively willingly trying to put effort into versus just saying, okay, fuck it, I'm not going to deal with it, because you have the choice to do that too. We have to kind of differentiate, like, okay, it's been 3 months. Can you hold accountability here? It's been 6 months. It's been accountability here. Wow, it's been 7 months since I've talked to you and you're still doing the same exact shit that you've been doing before. Clearly you're not changing. Clearly you're not growing. And I feel like after,
Yeah.
if you're still involved in a situation, because a lot of these I feel like are patterns that you get involved with that are somebody that you've had some duration of a connection with. Like usually you're not going to give a fuck about a person if it's 3 months or 6 months time. But when you're involved with somebody for over a year, they say, okay, if it's you're together for a year, it takes 2 years to fully, completely get past and remove blockages from that person. If you're with them longer, like keep doubling and adding that time. And that's how long it takes to get over a relationship. That's what experts say anyways. So the point that I'm trying to get at is if you're dealing with this situation and you were with this person for like a year, I naturally understand why you're going to be attached to them, why you're going to love them, why you're going to want something from them. But if you're not seeing change within a year span after that, why are you going to waste another year?
I feel too with karmic relationships, they talk a lot about codependency, like you're codependent on the ups and downs.
You
And you feel
are.
really unstable because it's normally to reflecting things of your past or parental trauma um or things you need to move forward. And again, like you made a really good point about karmic and twin flames being similar. So I would love to hear your point of view of like what a twin flame is and like how that differs. Because we hear twin flame all the time.
We hear twin flame all of the time. And when I think twin flame, this is my own idea. I'm going to use this cup. Perfect example. I've got this cup. Okay. When I think of a twin flame, this is a soul. And during this lifetime, this soul makes a elective contract to take a piece out and to take a piece out. So your higher conscious body is still up here operating in the 5D while these two beings come down. Now, it's important to note that when I think of twin flame connections, I don't think of this as one ball of energy. I think of this, let's think of it planetarily speaking, a binary star system. That is the best way that I feel like it operates. So you take a piece of that binary star system from both sides, it comes down to Earth, and it can grow and expand and it can get bigger or it can crash and dissolve. But either way, you're going to learn lessons.
And they mirror each other, right? Like, so you tend to mirror each other because you're the same part of consciousness. Because I know
So
they talk about mirroring. It's
They
a really
do.
big fad.
They do, and it's just like that. So if I were to bring down those two pieces, you're gonna find the ugliest and the best pieces of your soul mirroring back at you. But it's almost as if it's opposite in a way. Um, so for example, when you're dealing with the ebb and flow of a twin flame relationship, you go through your embracing period, your initial contact, and it's a
Hmm.
high. And you're riding this high like the fucking stock market all the way up. And just like the meme coin that it is, it's going to fucking crash and it's going to plummet down. And it's unfortunate, but it's because when we're looking at that mirror, those two souls have been through so much trauma in their life that when they meet, although it is a mirror, that bitch is being fucking held together by tape on both sides. So really what you're viewing is a broken reflection of yourself. And the point and the premise of a twin flame relationship is to invoke mass healing and further transcendence upon both individuals in the situation.
Hmm.
So if I'm a broken mirror and you're a broken mirror, and it's really, really great at first, and then that low comes, one of us is a really bad communicator because when we were a child, we were abused if we spoke out of turn. And the other one, when dealing with confrontation, has a tendency to run and to avoid away because of fear of this one yelling at them. So it's kind of like issues with communication, issues here, issues there. But the upbringing and the similarities are typically so similar. And that's one of the things that you will see in both karmic relationships and twin flame relationships is the ability to relate upon trauma. Um, because twin flame relationships and karmic twin relationships, they both feed off of pain, but karmic
Hmm.
relationships never heal it. And twin flames are supposed to utilize that pain and to transform it to become the best versions of themselves.
Hmm.
And you can either choose to be together through that journey all the way into the end, or you can choose not to. But it is a long karmic
Hmm.
cycle that you are going through this person. And every time that you will meet back up with them, because you're going to go through a separation period. And during that separation period, there might be points of contact, but there is never a certainty that you are together at the finish line. And I think that that needs to be so made clear because there's this illusionality that, oh, I found my twin flame and I know that this is my person. It might be your person, but that doesn't mean that that is your forever person because
Hmm.
they have the free will to choose to not heal and to not grow up. And you have the free will to not take them back
Yeah.
or to choose a soulmate. That is 100% your choice. It's 100% your prerogative. So it's really your own
Yeah.
path to greatness.
So one thing that I think is interesting that I've seen, you know, um, people talk about on the internet, and those of you all, you probably found us through TikTok, so you're probably scrolling through TikTok. um, they talk about how, like, if, like, from a Christianity point of view, how, you know, Adam made a woman or Eve from, a rib in his chest. And they talk about that being like the twin flame version too is, you know, he's Eve to your Adam, Adam to your Eve, like someone normally falls into temptation, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that's an interesting perspective. But the thing that I find a lot too is that they say in that separation period with your twin flame is like this spark of growth where people normally go into their like, if you're spiritual, you normally go, or not if you're spiritual, but if you're in that kind of like mind, you're going to go through your spiritual awakening. It's going to spark you. to like dive into your spiritual awakening, to go through um what is it? Dark night of the soul, and for you to see growth and for you to reflect that growth on yourself. In a later episode, or even after this, like we can talk about a little bit about our personal experience, but I see that a lot where it's like people will be married for years and then separation. Like there's always a separation period. And I really feel like sometimes there's multiple, and I feel like it
Yes.
stays in this 369. Like it's a 369 pattern
Nikola Tesla,
from what I
baby.
see. And so I think it's fascinating, and I love the way that you explained it with the cup and showing how like two people come down from that consciousness. And I think there's so much talk about twin flame. I really appreciate you breaking that down.
Yeah, absolutely. And our last point that we want to talk about here is soulmates. Because who doesn't love a good soulmate connection? I think that I would say this. Am I appreciative of having a twin flame connection? Yes, because I learned a lot and I grew a lot in ways that I didn't know that I needed to grow. However, with that being said, oh my gosh, I would love a soulmate connection. Like, how easy would that be? Because that's the point, is like soulmate connections can be platonic or romantic as well. Okay. Um, it's not one or the other. I think that soulmates are here also to help you grow, but you're not here to go through painful, exhilarating, life-changing things with them. Okay.
Hmm.
You're coming as a person who's done the work. They're coming as a person that's done the work. You're two souls that help each other grow in the same lifetime. But I don't necessarily think that you're a mirror of each other in the way that twin flames are, because it's really easy to differentiate. Okay, well, this is a karmic and this is a twin flame, but what's the difference between a twin flame and a soulmate? Yes, it is a deep connection, and it is like insane chemistry and mutual support and unconditional love. And it's a foundation off bat that continuously stays comfortable and strong. And it only continues to
Mhm.
build. There is no type of cataclysm like you do in a twin flame relationship where you're going through these highs and these lows, or where you're going through a karmic relationship where you're just on this complete depleting path. It is just, there's only up
And I
from there.
think, and if we had to like rate this, and for me, rating this for how my mind works, I feel like the most painful out of all of the connections would be the twin flame, because it's you're making conscious decisions to be together, to pull away, to separate. And sometimes you're not the person who wants to separate, but it's needed because there has to be growth on both ends to come together. And karmic, I feel like it hurts, but that's something that's going to be able to like you're going to be able to like get over. And I feel like
Yes.
that twin flame almost brands you a little bit.
Ah,
And then the soulmate, I feel like, is one of the most, I'm not going to say it's easy because all relationships are difficult. They take work. Um, Platonically, romantically, or romantic, etc. But I do feel the soulmate connection is that we're easy. We fall not easy, but we fall into place. Like we complement each other. We're not going through, and like how you brought up the notebook, we're not going through with Noah, up, down, peaks, valleys, highs, lows, constant questioning. I
yes.
love you. I don't know why I love you, but I do. And loving you is painful for me. I feel like with your soulmate, it's not a painful thing. It's someone who, again, soulmate, they're a mate. They are somebody that it doesn't feel painful to me in that
And I
way.
don't think it's supposed to. I think that it's supposed to just be a peaceful coexistence of two souls. And that's not to say that you're not going to ruffle each other's feathers, but it's those connections where it's like, when I think of a soulmate connection, it's like, yeah, we got in a fight today, but you know, we always go to bed saying, I love you, you know,
Hmm.
that's what I think of. And do I think, sure, it takes time to get there? Duh, especially in the beginning. But like, you're not going through the pain that you
Hmm.
experience
So
with the other half.
uh, would you say that you've experienced any of these?
I think that I've experienced a karmic relationship. I think I've experienced a twin flame relationship, but I don't think I've ever experienced a romantic soulmate connection. But I've definitely experienced plenty of platonic ones. How about you?
I will say, karmic for sure. I think I had the potential for a soulmate relationship, but like I wasn't ready for it. I was way, 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 way too young. And I don't even think I even want to call it that now that I say that, because I don't feel like if it was a soulmate romantic, I wouldn't have that issue. I've experienced friendships that I know that are soul connections. They're from my soul family. They're part of my tree branch. Um, and twin flame, unfortunately, yes. But we can talk about that in a different episode. But we've had definitely our experiences. Well, y'all, there you have it. You have our take on what we believe is a karmic soulmate and twin flame connection. What does that mean? How do you apply it to your life? How do you even know if you've experienced one of these connections? As well as what is a soul connect? I know that there's a ton of information out there, and this is just our opinion. This is what we've come to. Doesn't mean that we're right. So we always, always, always encourage everyone to get out there and do their own research, see how you feel if you have a different opinion or if you've experienced a karmic soulmate or twin flame connection. Please let us know. We'd love to hear your stories. And I'm sure they may be similar to ours. And I know this is a really, really, really weird place to leave a podcast episode. However, we have a ton of super fun, funny, crazy, chaotic stories coming up, and we thought it was best to do a part one and a part two. So you just concluded listening to Love Unfiltered Part 1, and Love Unfiltered Part 2 is coming in just a few weeks. This is where we're introducing our very first segment of Zen and Juice Investigates. Dun dun dun. And I think this is like a really juicy way to kick it off is we've heard from you all that online dating sucks, right? We get it. But we were curious. We're like, you know what? Sometimes we've even told people, hey, get online. But if we don't really know what it's like, how do we recommend people to do it, right? So we don't want to be ignorant. We want to get out there and see what it's like. So coming up, you'll get to hear about our online dating stories, but also what is it like to online date in 2024? And let me tell y'all, this is a different part of the internet. So stay tuned to Love Unfiltered Part 2 coming soon.